It is worn on gold chains around the necks of billionaires. It is inked onto the skin of rappers and athletes. It sits on top of the skylines of the most advanced cities on Earth. We have turned the cross into an aesthetic, a piece of jewelry, a cultural logo. But if you strip away 2,000 years of gold plating and religious tradition, you are left with something terrifying. You are left with a torture device. To the people of the first century, the cross didn't symbolize hope. It symbolized the absolute worst thing the Roman Empire could do to a human body. It was designed to be the ultimate deadline, the point where a life is totally extinguished in public shame. And yet, this instrument of execution is the single most famous symbol of life in human history. That is a paradox. It makes no sense, unless, of course, you stop looking at the cross as just a religious icon and start looking through it as a lens for reality, because hidden in that brutal geometry is a three-part framework that explains the human condition better than almost anything else. It offers a blueprint for navigating the three hardest things you will ever face: suffering, failure, and hopelessness. Let's talk about the first one, the universal constant: suffering. We try to avoid it, we medicate it, we distract ourselves from it. But eventually, life breaks everyone. It might be a diagnosis that stops the room cold. It might be the slow, grinding grief of losing someone you built your life around. Or maybe it is just that silent, creeping feeling of isolation. The feeling that you are screaming inside a glass box and nobody can hear you. In those moments, the physical pain is often secondary to the psychological torture of loneliness. The question isn't just, why does this hurt? It is, does anyone even see me? Am I completely alone in this? This is where the historical reality of the crucifixion creates a radical shift in perspective. When we say the word excruciating, we are actually speaking Latin. Ex cruce. It literally means out of the cross. The Romans engineered this death to be slow. It was public. You were stripped naked, raised above the ground, and left to suffocate while the world watched and mocked. It was the definition of being exposed and abandoned. Now, consider the core claim of the Christian story, that the man on that cross was God himself. This isn't just theology. It is a psychological game changer. It means that the creator of the universe isn't sitting on a cloud, distant and immune to pain. He is down in the dirt, bleeding, suffocating, and feeling the crushing weight of abandonment. When Jesus cries out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" He is voicing the exact same despair you feel at 3 a.m. when the ceiling feels like it's collapsing on you. He is validating human suffering by participating in it. So the lesson here isn't that the cross magically erases your pain. The lesson is that your pain is seen. It transforms suffering from a solitary confinement into a shared experience. You are not suffering into a void. You are suffering in the presence of someone who has been to the bottom and knows exactly what the darkness looks like. But pain isn't the only thing that haunts us. There is something more insidious, the feeling of not being enough. We live in a performance-based economy. Everything is transactional. If you perform well at work, you get paid. If you look good on Instagram, you get likes. If you are charming, you get friends. We are conditioned to believe that love is a salary we earn, not a gift we receive. And that creates a deep, hidden anxiety. We walk around terrified that if people saw who we really were, if they saw our secret failures, our jagged edges, the mistakes we can't undo, they would turn away. We feel broken. We feel like frauds. And this is where the cross does something completely counterintuitive. It destroys the concept of earning it. Think about the scene. Jesus is hanging between two criminals. These aren't petty thieves. They are insurrectionists, violent men. One of them, in his dying moments, stops mocking and simply asks to be remembered. He has nothing to offer. He can't do any good deeds. He can't fix his past. He is literally nailed down, helpless. He has zero leverage. And in that moment of total bankruptcy, he is promised paradise. That is the scandal of the cross. It teaches that love is not a reward for being good. It is a rescue operation for the broken. The Apostle Paul wrote that, while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Notice the timing. Not after we cleaned up our act. While we were messy. while we were failing. The cross is the ultimate declaration that your worth is not tied to your resume, your bank account, or your moral track record. It is an unconditional embrace that says you are loved at your absolute worst. It invites you to drop the mask, stop pretending you have it all together, and accept that being broken doesn't mean you are unlovable. And finally, we have to face the wall. The moment when the lights go out. Hopelessness. There are times in life when the door slams shut and you know, with cold certainty, that it is over. The divorce is final. The money is gone. The dream is dead. It feels like a funeral for your future. If you pause the story of the cross on Friday night, it is the ultimate picture of failure. The hero is dead. The bad guys won. The disciples ran away in terror. The movement is crushed. It is a catastrophe. If you were there, you would have said it was the end. But the cross teaches us that our perception of the end is often wrong. We judge our lives by the chapter we are currently in. But the cross argues that the book is longer than we think. The narrative arc doesn't stop at the burial. It hinges on the resurrection. This changes the physics of hope. It means that what looks like a total defeat can actually be the setup for the greatest victory. It forces us to look at our own tombs, our dead ends, and realize that just because it is dark doesn't mean it is over. The seed has to be buried in the darkness before it can break through as new life. The cross is the proof that death is not a period, it is a comma. It is a transition, not a conclusion. So when you are standing in the wreckage of a situation that feels hopeless, the cross is a defiant symbol that says, wait, the story isn't done yet. This is why we still talk about this ancient symbol. Not because it's a nice decoration, but because it tells the truth about the gritty reality of being human. It tells us that when we are in pain, we are seen. When we fail, we are loved. And when we hit a dead end, a new path is being carved out in the dark. So I want to leave you with a question to wrestle with today. We all have one of these three struggles dominating our life right now. Is it pain? Is it shame? Or is it hopelessness? Which part of the cross do you need to lean on today? Take a second, be honest with yourself, and let that sink in. If you are brave enough, let me know in the comments which lesson hit home for you. Because realizing you aren't the only one walking through it, that is where the healing starts.